All right, I'm about to do a reaction video from Wrestling World CC about Dom's shocking secret plan, whatever it is. So if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, here's a screenshot right here. We're not going to waste no time. We're going to go ahead and get straight to this video. So let's get started.
Lots of things are currently in motion for the Judgment Day, so we'll see what's happening there, how it could be bringing someone new into the fold, Liv's plan, and much more. Starting things off with the heavy new developments for the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day only had a 2-minute backstage segment on the January 20th edition of Raw, but it was still a pretty significant segment, because it had a lot of setup for multiple future storylines and potential directions. The first big story thread here was a crossover between American Made and Judgment Day. Chad Gable made it known to Kathy Kelly that he was on his way over to meet Dominik Mysterio, because Dominik promised to help him with his Penta and Luchador problem. And in the beginning of the Judgment Day's backstage segment, we see that interaction between Dominik and Chad Gable underway. Gable asked Dominik about the help that he had for him, and Dominik slips Chad Gable a piece of paper that we're to assume is his phone number on it. Dominik Mysterio assures Chad Gable that this is the man that can help him and brush him up on his lucha libre skills. And Chad Gable walks away happy with his number in his hands. And it does not look like Dominik was trolling or messing around with the information he gave to Chad Gable, because after Gable left the room, Dominik explained that he did this to him as a favor so that American Made will still owe him one when they need it down the line. So it sounded like Dominik really did give Chad Gable a solid there with that contact information that he gave to him for this mysterious individual that very much sounds like professional in lucha libre themselves. So that exchange and moment there opens up the big interesting storyline question of whose number did Dom give to Chad Gable? Who is Gable about to call up? We absolutely love mysterious storylines here on Wrestling World CC, and that's exactly what this one is. And there's some solid clues in place for the identity of this individual. First thing to check off the list is that whoever it is, Dominik confirmed them to be male, so that's a fact here. Another thing Dominik confirmed about them is that they're a professional in lucha libre. And when you look at lucha libre as a whole, it's a style and genre of wrestling that comes from the Latin culture. So it sounds like our mysterious individual here is a Latin male that's either already on one of the WWE brands, or maybe it's a debuting star that's about to be brought onto WWE television through this storyline. So now that we put those clues together, who could it be? Well, remember that just last year, Dominik Mysterio was getting extremely close with Andrade and Santos Escobar. He was spending a lot of time with them. So much time that fans started to think that Dominik would leave the Judgment Day to form a faction with Andrade and Santos, but that never ended up happening. However, Dominik still has a deep friendship with the both of those men. So is it Andrade or Santos Escobar's number that's on that piece of paper, waiting to help Chad Gable with his lucha libre knowledge? It's definitely a possibility. Those two are Dominik Mysterio's biggest connections to the world of lucha libre, so can't rule out those two individuals from being the number on the paper. Fans are also wondering if the phone number could be a secretive LWO member. The LWO is a babyface faction, but maybe Dominik knows a member that's willing to go behind the group's back to help Chad Gable with this issue. Some fans were wondering if Dominik gave Chad Gable Rey Mysterio's number, and although that would be a fun twist to somehow lead towards Penta versus Rey Mysterio, Rey will absolutely not offer any help to an evil and cruel individual like Chad Gable. It's not just in Rey's nature to help someone like that. So that's what makes it seem like it absolutely has no shot of being Rey Mysterio. And another superstar exciting option that would be insane and is something fans are discussing is the idea of Dominik giving Chad Gable Rey Fénix's number, who just happens to be Penta's brother. Who better than to help Chad Gable with this issue than someone who's extremely close to Penta and knows his style of wrestling? Really, it would be an insane way to bring Fénix into the entire fold, to potentially even go against his own brother. The only issue with this concept in theory is that Rey Fénix is currently going through a lot of contract issues right now regarding the remaining time on his AEW contract. Reports continue to claim that Rey Fenix is having a hard time getting out of his AEW contract, and no one really knows when he will become fully available. So that's the main obstacle there with that fan theory for Rey Fenix. Fans are also freaking out because, as Chad Gable was walking out, he said he was going to master the dark arts of Lucha Libre. Dark Arts just happens to be the name of Aleister Black's wrestling school, and he's rumored to be a free agent right now. Could it be a clue for his WWE return? But that appears to be the list of major candidates for whose numbers on that piece of paper. Those are the names that makes the most sense and seem possible. Judging by how Dominik spoke about the situation, he fully believes that this individual on that paper will come through for him, and will make Chad Gable O&M big time. And right after that, Dominik enters another new storyline thread for himself. JD McDonough notes that Adam Pearce gave them a tag team titles rematch against the War Raiders next week on Raw. But the issue is that Finn Balor is still hurt from the street fight and won't be able to make it back in time for the match. That's when Liv Morgan jumps in with a little jab towards Finn Balor, saying that listening to Finn has not led to much winning lately at all. Dominik Mysterio steps up to the plate and says he'll take Finn's spot in the tag team titles match against the War Raiders. Dominik notes that he does not think Finn Balor will mind at all, and will be happy if Dominik and JD win the titles back for the group. JD asks Liv Morgan for her opinion on if Finn will be a fan of the idea, and Liv smiles and says that Finn won't be mad and he will love it. Liv Morgan is a smart and observant individual. In reality, she's aware that Finn would absolutely hate the idea of anyone replacing him in a title match, especially Dominik Mysterio. But Liv doesn't tell them that, and instead goes down the gaslighting route because clearly she's up to something as well. By lying and saying that Finn will love it, she's basically taking care of two birds with one stone. By agreeing to that idea, that means she gets to screw over Finn and Dominik at the same time. Liv knows that Finn will be fuming towards Dominik for taking a spot in the match, so applies pressure on Dominik, which Liv would love to see in that moment. And Liv would also love to see Finn upset over losing his tag team titles rematch opportunity as well, without even taking part in the match. So Finn and Dominik both lose out in this scenario.
Yeah, she's definitely setting up Finn Balor versus Dominik Mysterio for WrestleMania. I mean, yeah.
Finn loses his rematch without even being in it, and tension rises between Finn and Dominik, all while Liv sits back and watches the chaos. Liv compliments Dominik for now appearing to be quite the mastermind for setting up the Chad Gable deal and stepping up in Finn's absence. Dominik said that he also has a plan in mind for Liv Morgan and how she can get the women's world title back, and how he'll make everything up to her. Liv tells him that she knows he will make it up to her and drags Dominik out of the room by tugging on his hair. So looking at this entire segment, it's certainly looking like Dominik Mysterio was the focal point here, setting everything in motion. Dominik has this solution unfolding with Chad Gable. He's taking part in the tag team titles match, and he has to make things right with Liv Morgan as well. Also can't forget he'll most likely have to deal with a furious Finn Balor for taking his spot and losing in the tag team titles rematch. So 4 massive stories are hanging over Dominik Mysterio's head right now, so he'll have his hands extremely full over the next few weeks. But it was a segment full of great setups, and we'll see how all that comes out together real soon. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed.
Okay. Let me just read the conversation I had with cool Shamey-25. So we was talking about Damian getting drafted to SmackDown, and in that conversation I noticed that we were, talking about Liv and Dom and whatnot, and he was just saying like how Damian doesn't have to deal with Finn's jealousy anymore, and now I want Dom to get away from Liv Morgan. I always said that she's using Dom. Liv is playing Femme Fatale. And I said, I'm still waiting for that moment to come. I wonder what's Dom's plan, because he say on Monday Night Raw he has a plan for her. I just wonder what that plan is. And then he responded back by saying, that's going to put Dom in even more trouble. Dom has been in a lot of hot water already, old boy. And I said, yeah, I can't wait, but I'll keep you updated on what it is. Stay tuned. And he said, I will. Now, look, I don't know what's going to happen with Dom. I don't know what his plan is for Liv Morgan on the Judgment Day. I don't really give a damn. Either way, I just want Dom and Liv to split, and I just want Finn Balor to just, come back as a demon. So I just trying to figure out who's going to get kicked out. Is it Dom? Is it Liv Morgan? Or is it Finn Balor? And right now, I don't know which one, and I don't know who. I mean, all I know is that my head's telling me that, Raquel might be leaving soon, especially because of Royal Rumble. So I don't know. Egos might clash there. So I don't know what's going to go down, man. But right now, only thing that's stuck in my head right now is who is going to lead the Judgment Day? Who's going to get kicked out? Is it going to be Dom? Is it going to be Finn Balor? Or is it going to be Liv Morgan? And is Raquel going to quit? Because she only been in there for 6 months. Well, 4 months. My bad. So it's like, can she quit too? I don't know. We won't know until later. But all I got to say is this, though. If Raquel do quit because she wants to, get away from Liv Morgan just to get to where she need to go, it just wouldn't make sense if, Liv Morgan stays, right? But then you form this together, where the segment was, Finn Balor, JD, Carlito, Raquel, and Dom. And then you're going to sit here and tell me that Liv Morgan can't get kicked out for everything that she's doing to the group and to these two young men. Finn Balor's not young, but I'm just saying, is this what is your plan here? What is any of y'all three plans? Because obviously Raquel and Carlito and JD just along with the ride, but they really want to separate from you three because it's obvious that you three got too much ego, and these three could be will be better off and doing other things if you three wasn't so big headed. But honestly, I just can't wait till either one gets kicked out or either one quits. Because we can't keep this up forever. We just can't. So hopefully it ends soon, because right now I really want this to end. So, and eventually it will. Now, will it end before WrestleMania? I don't know. But I do know this. If it happens at WrestleMania, then most likely you'll get to see a Christian and Trish Stratus moment with Chris Jericho. And who is Chris Jericho? Dom. And who is Christian? Finn Balor. And who is Trish Stratus? Liv Morgan. So if that happens, then hey, it's all planned, right? We'll see what happens, man. But y'all get ready for Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new, and comment down below and discuss, all right? Who do you think is going to get kicked out? And do you think Dom got a plan? Or that plan going to backfire tomorrow? Y'all let me know. All right? I'm out.